At Greenwood High, there was a boy named Arjun. He was bright, curious, and full of ideas. But he had one problem. He lacked self-discipline. His notebooks were filled with unfinished assignments, his bag always cluttered, and his goals written on scraps of paper that never left the drawer. He promised himself daily, "Tomorrow, I'll do better." But tomorrow always slipped away. While his classmates stayed after school to study, Arjun scrolled endlessly on his phone. When projects were assigned, he started strong, but quickly gave up the moment things got difficult. Teachers often said, "Arjun has potential, but he doesn't follow through." Deep down, Arjun felt the truth of those words, and it frustrated him. One day, after failing another math test, Arjun sat alone in the empty classroom. His teacher, Mr. Mehra, noticed him staring blankly at his paper. Instead of scolding, he pulled up a chair. "Arjun," he said gently, "do you know why you keep struggling?" Arjun shrugged. "I guess I'm just lazy." Mr. Mehra shook his head. "You're not lazy. Your brain is simply wired to choose comfort over effort. But the good news is you can rewire it. Self-discipline is not something you're born with, it's something you build." Arjun was curious. Rewire my brain. How Mr. Mehra smiled. Through habits, small repeated actions that train your brain to choose growth over comfort. Start tiny. Don't think about becoming disciplined overnight. Think about becoming 1% better each day. That night, Arjun made a decision. He would try. Instead of setting a huge goal like study 3 hours daily, he started with just 10 minutes of focused study. He put his phone in another room, set a timer, and promised himself not to quit until it rang. It was hard at first. His mind wandered. His hands itched to grab the phone. But he held on. When the timer rang, he felt something new: pride. The next day, he did it again and again. 10 minutes became 15, then 30. Slowly, his brain began associating study time with focus, not struggle. Arjun also learned another strategy: the 2-minute rule. Whenever he felt lazy, he told himself, "Just do it for 2 minutes." 2 minutes of reading often turned into 20. 2 minutes of organizing his desk often left it spotless. By lowering the barrier to start, he tricked his brain into momentum. He added another habit: writing down 3 small goals every morning. Instead of vague promises, he wrote clear, actionable tasks. Revise history notes. Solve 5 math problems. Read 1 chapter of English, crossing them off gave him a rush of accomplishment, rewiring his brain to love progress. Days turned into weeks. His friends were surprised. "Arjun, you've changed. You're actually finishing your homework." One laughed. Arjun smiled. It wasn't magic. It was discipline, built drop by drop, habit by habit. But then came the real test. The annual science project was announced, and it required months of research and consistent effort. The old Arjun would have delayed until the last week, panicked, and submitted something half done. But the new Arjun broke the project into small steps. Research today, outline tomorrow, experiment next week. He used a calendar to track progress and refused to go to bed until he completed his daily task. Some days, he wanted to quit. Some nights, the phone tempted him. But Arjun remembered Mr. Mehra's words: "Every time you resist comfort, you are rewiring your brain." That thought pushed him forward. Finally, the science fair arrived. Arjun stood proudly by his project, a working model of renewable energy. His presentation was clear, his research thorough, his effort undeniable. When his name was called as the winner, applause thundered through the hall. Arjun's eyes sparkled, not just because he had won, but because he had discovered something far greater: the power of self-discipline. Later, Mr. Mehra patted his shoulder. See, Arjun, you rewired your brain. You proved that self-discipline is a skill, not a gift. Arjun nodded, smiling. He had learned the secret. Self-discipline wasn't about fighting with willpower. It was about building habits that made discipline natural. One small change at a time, he had transformed his life. And so can you. Start small. Set tiny goals. Use the 2-minute rule. Write your tasks down. Celebrate progress. Remember, your brain will follow the habits you teach it. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. Master self-discipline and watch as your daily routines transform into the foundation of your biggest dream. Now let me ask you, what's the first small habit you'll start today?